Hey guys, I know it's been a couple of days since I posted something because life has been lifing. Not in a bad way, it's just been lifing. But today we're back for another The Secret Book Club. We are now on chapter 4, Powerful Processes. So this is on page 71. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to read is, it's literally the first page. Your current reality or your current life is a result of the thoughts you have been thinking. All of that will totally change as you begin to change your thoughts and your feelings. One thing that I wanted to mention though is like the timeline, because a lot of us are like, well, I have been thinking these different thoughts and like I'm still in certain situations. Certain things have not changed. And so what I'm learning is that things change over time, and it's like incrementally, like just like things in nature happen where you plant a seed and over time, incrementally, it starts to shoot and produce fruit. And it could take years. It depends on what you're planting. Like bamboo grows significantly faster than apples. So just keeping in mind, like depending on where you are, what you're asking for, and literally where you are, it's going to take some time to get to that place. All right. So we have to just have patience with ourselves and remember and recognize that like part of me kind of disagrees with this, because where you are, like your current reality is a result of your previous thoughts. I don't necessarily believe that your reality that you're living actively currently is a reflection of what you're thinking today at this particular time, because if there is a time delay, that doesn't make any sense. But also, if you are or were a negative thinker and then today suddenly you decide to think positively, it's going to take some time for that to happen, and you're not going to wake up tomorrow and your whole dream is going to be true just because you decided to change your thought process one day. So, I kind of agree and I kind of disagree, because I feel like what you're living is a result of your previous thought process, and how you're thinking now is loading, because by the time something loads for you, likely you've already evolved more than that. So as long as you keep evolving purposefully and looking to improve your life, then incrementally your life will start to change and reflect around you. But how long it takes, who knows? Like Jim Rohn says, like, how long does it take a baby to walk? And if that baby is like learning, should it stop because it didn't learn how to walk in a month? Should it stop trying because it didn't learn how to walk in a week, or it took a couple of months, whatever? No, you're going to say however long that particular baby takes to learn how to walk is how long it's going to take. So how long is it going to take for you to get to where you want to be? It's going to take as long as it takes. It just is what it is. All right. Let's see. What else do we want to highlight? All right. This is on 76, page 76. Gratitude was a fundamental part of the teachings of all the great avatars. Interesting choice of phrasing. Of all the great avatars throughout history. In the book that changed my life, The Secret of Getting Rich. Ooh, I love that book. I got actually, I listened to it on audiobook, but I never read it. So I'm gonna get that one too. All right. In the book that changed my life, The Secret of Getting Rich, written by Wallace Wattles in 1910, gratitude is its longest chapter. Every teacher featured in The Secret uses gratitude as a part of his or her day. Most of them begin their day with thoughts and feelings of gratitude. So gratitude and appreciation, I want to add that in, because when you're grateful for something and you appreciate something, it's very similar, but it's slightly different. So to me, to be grateful for something is to be thankful. To appreciate something is to use it properly and to cherish it and to express value for it and to treat it a certain way, because you're appreciating it and you're grateful to have it, so you're appreciating the use of it. So I think it's important that even myself, like, make more of an effort to be grateful for what I already have and just stay in a certain high vibrational feeling so that I can attract what I want, because we know now that we are magnets, and we're pushing stuff out, and we're also calling stuff to us. We are a point of attraction. So if we can just get to the place where internally we are happy and grateful, then more situations that will cause us to be happy and grateful will occur. And that takes time, it takes discipline, it takes actionable steps. It takes more than just, having like 5 things that you're grateful for and being a total jerk off the rest of the day. Like, walk with the gratitude. So they're beginning the day with it, and absolutely begin your day with great gratitude and gratefulness, and then throughout your day extend that with you. So even things that you don't like, you can try to find something positive from it. So that's what I'm really getting from this chapter. Another thing I want to highlight. So apparently Albert Einstein also said thank you like 100 times a day. So that's pretty interesting. On page 80, one of the most powerful uses of gratitude can be incorporated in the creative process to turbocharge what you want. As Bob Proctor advised in the first step of the creative process, start by writing down what you want. Begin each sentence with, I am so happy and grateful now that ... When you give thanks as though you have already received what you want, you are emitting, so you're putting out. So let's really pay attention to this. When you give thanks as though you have already received what you want, you are emitting a powerful signal to the universe. That signal is saying that you have it already because you are feeling grateful for it now. Each morning before you get out of your bed, make it a habit to feel the feelings of gratitude in advance for the great day ahead as though it's done. From the moment I discovered the secret and formulated the vision to share this knowledge with the world, I gave thanks every day for the film The Secret, which would bring joy to the world. I had no idea how we would bring this knowledge to the screen, but trusted that we would attract the way. So what I'm seeing from this is that when you're grateful for something that you want, you put out a magnetism to the universe, like, this is what I want. And by radiating that frequency, you are magnetizing, and we are bringing into our experience that which we want by being grateful for it. So that's like a magnetism thing. Interesting. And we don't have to know how, we just have to know that, and then trust that the universe will present the way. I stayed focused and held to the outcome. I felt deep feelings of gratitude in advance. As that became my state of being, the floodgates opened and all the magic flowed into our lives. For the magnificent team of The Secret and for me, our deep, heartfelt feelings of gratitude continue this day. We have become a team that resonates gratitude with every moment, and it has become our way of life. So it's really, really, really important to be grateful. And that's like what this is really, really talking about, this chapter. And then we also go into the concept of visualizing. And that just seems to be like a running theme. So let's go to page 85. The teachers of The Secret are all aware of the element you bring into play when you visualize. As you see the picture in your mind and feel it, you are bringing yourself to a place of believing you have it now. Interesting. You are also implementing trust and faith in the universe because you are focusing on the end result and experiencing that feeling, the feeling of that, without giving any attention whatsoever to how it will come. Your picture in your mind is seeing it as done. Your feelings are seeing it as done. Your mind and your entire state of being are seeing it as already happened. This is the art of visualization. I'm gonna read one more. I'm gonna read a little bit of that one more time, not the whole thing. As you see the picture in your mind and feel it, you are bringing yourself to a place of believing you have it now. You are also implementing trust and faith in the universe because you are focusing on the end result and experiencing the feeling of that without giving any attention whatsoever to how it will come. Me personally, like I'm still developing, like not focusing on the how, and like, because what I realized is like once you start to think about how, it tears you away from the visualization. Also, the easiest way for me to visualize lately has been like walking, and as I'm walking, I just kind of like zone out, and suddenly I'm in a whole nother time zone where it's like me, and whether I'm on stage or whether I'm like doing, I'm not gonna like share too much about my goals and things yet, but you know, when I'm just like freeing it and just letting it flow, then like the visualization happens. But once I start, well, how would this happen? And then how would I get there? And how would I get there? And how? It starts to deteriorate the visualization. And now I'm realizing from reading again, because you know, every time you read something, you get something additional out of it. But if I am like questioning the how, then that means that I do not trust that the universe is going to do it. So I'm not giving the universe its accolades and saying like, well, hey, you put this whole ish together, you can help me get to the next level. It's like limiting the universe based on my human understanding of what's happening. And for The Secret, like this particular chapter is significantly longer than the other chapters. But yeah, I think it's for a reason. Now we're on page 91. All right. You can let your imagination go wild with a vision board and place pictures of all the things you want and pictures of how you want your life to be. Make sure you put the vision board in a place where you see it and look at it every day. As John Asafar did, feel the feelings of having those things now. As you receive and feel gratitude for receiving, you can remove pictures and add new ones. This is a wonderful way to introduce children to the law of attraction. I hope the creation of a vision board inspires parents and teachers worldwide. An easy way to do a vision board, like, because people don't really like buy magazines. Like, who has magazines in their house anymore? Like, I was subscribed to Town and Country for a time period, but I'm just not really a magazine person. Like, I haven't been a magazine person since like 17 magazine was coming out. But if you can't do that, because you're not like that kind of person, you can go on Canva and you can make a dream board on Canva. And that way, wherever you have your device, you have Canva. You have your dream board. You can also put your dream board as your lock screen or your home screen and make it kind of artistic. So no one, like if you want people to know, fine, but you can make it your lock screen. My lock screen on my phone is a Forbes cover of me with specific wording that I am putting out there because this is the specific thing that I want to occur. And so that's on my lock screen. However, I'm thinking now I'm going to keep that lock screen on certain devices because I want to see that. Because that's my goal. Because regardless of whatever else is going on, the way that I would get to this specific goal is, and everything else would be cool. So what we also have to remember is like you have to make what other people are doing and turn it into your own thing. So you might be someone who's big on symbolism. So you don't need to have the explicit exact, like this is exactly what I want. You might be like me, I'm a little bit more fluid because I know what I want, but I don't always know exactly, like specifically this particular thing. There are some things that I know, like, okay, this is exactly what I want. But at the same time, like, I like to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And then I like to have the universe figure out what that actually looks like practically, because I've learned that sometimes I don't make, like, I'm developing and I'm growing, but like sometimes I don't necessarily know what I really want, and like I think I want something and then I get it and I'm like, ooh, that's not what I wanted. And then other things that I don't necessarily know if I want, but I still like I just do it, then I'm like, oh wow, and I'm like pleasantly surprised. So I personally like to give the universe enough room to surprise me and still be flexible. So I like to like go based off of symbols, and like this is like the lifestyle that I want to experience, and this is the symbolism behind it, and then however it actually practically applies into this reality is how it happens, you know? So now we're on page 93, and these are just some summaries. You know me, I'm not going to read all the summaries because I want you to read the book, but I will, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll read 2 of them. I always say I'll read 2, then I end up reading 3, but I'm going to try to stick to reading 2. So the first summary I wanted to highlight is giving thanks for what you want in advance turbocharges your desires and sends a more powerful signal to the universe. So giving thanks for what you want in advance sends a turbocharge to the universe and sends a powerful signal out to the universe. So once again, if we are transmission and receiving entities, then if we say, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I X, Y, and Z, then that signals, that's more supercharged than I want this thing, because I want this thing means I don't have it. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I have X, Y, and Z. So what does that look like? So let's say like you're trying to do it the way that I'm talking about, because like I don't know specifically, like there's so many options. I don't know specifically which car I want. I know like I want a fleet of cars, I know that. But I don't know, like, do I actually want a fleet of cars, or do I want to like rent cars? Like, you know, I don't know. But I know that I desire the ability to choose and to drive luxury cars until I can determine which one I like the most. So I can say I'm so happy and grateful now that I regularly drive luxury cars. And I don't even want to drive them. I want to be driven, okay? I prefer to be in the back seat or in the passenger seat. I don't like I'll drive if I have to, but I'd rather be driven somewhere. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a chauffeur driving me in luxury cars, point blank period. And that covers it. Now, how the chauffeur arrives, that's not my business. Or what the chauffeur is driving, that's not my business. But I know it's a luxury car and it's a chauffeur, point blank period. Or I'm so happy, like let's say you want to live by the beach, but you don't know which beach you want to live by. You don't know which house you want to live by. You don't even know which state or country for that matter. You don't know if you want to live on an island or go somewhere else. I'm so happy and grateful now that my primary residence is a beachfront property that has a food forest with it. Like, what do you want? And like I said, for me personally, I operate better when I say like, this is generally what I want. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a loving family, point blank period. Now, and that's the actual thing that I'm actually literally like currently happy and grateful for. But like I said, for me, I like to have a little bit more fluidity. So let me know, like, how do you do it? Like, are you more specific or are you more like fluid like me? Like, I'm more like water than fire. And then the last thing, the next one I want to highlight is the last one on page 93, the last summary. At the end of every day before you go to sleep, go back through the events of the day. Any events or moments that were not what you wanted, replay them in your mind the way you wanted them to go. This is something that Rev Ike says, and like some other people have said too, and this is something that I have not necessarily done before. I've only done that in my toxic life, honestly, when I did not win an argument. And then later on, I'm like, I could have said this thing. I could have said that. And then in my head, I have the argument all over again. And then I say all the things that I wanted to say that I didn't think of saying beforehand. And I think that that's toxic. So I want to learn, and I think it would be cool for us to learn to like do it, but like do that, but like for positive things. Like if something didn't go well, like instead of saying, oh, well, today this thing happened that bothered me, like, in my version of it, this thing occurred in a different way. So for example, let's say you had a pitch and it didn't go well and the person did not receive the information like you want them to receive it. You can, in your mind, change that, like, oh my gosh, that was such a great presentation. They loved it. They gave me this amazing contract, this, that, and the third. So yeah, I'm so happy and grateful that I started reading this book. I'm so happy and grateful now that we have a prosperous book club where a lot of people are reading, because leaders are readers. And one thing that I've been learning is that in order to be prosperous, in order to live the best possible way that you can, you do have to read and you have to make those incremental steps. And if you've been following for a while, I was not a reader before, but I was still a leader, but I wasn't a reader. And now I'm reading a lot, and I'm breezing through these books, and I'm just proud of myself. And I just wanted to give myself a signature round of applause for making the disciplinary steps to day by day become better, better, and better, because every day in every way I seek to improve and to become a better version of myself. And I did have a conversation with someone, and I got a little bit out of character because they were being incredibly rude and disrespectful. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'll just improve. I'll do better next time. This is not about you improving and doing better next time. This person is unstable emotionally and I'm not even going to get into it, but that person is emotionally unstable. But regardless of what that person says, I always look to improve, because there's always a way you can do better, and there's always something you can do more effective, and there's always a way you can be a better version of yourself. And whether that means relaxing and being relaxed when you're relaxing, or that means getting up and doing what you need to do and just being proactive and being productive, you have to do what you want to do. Because one thing about it, two things for sure: no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to say, especially if you are not actively working on yourself, it's no one's responsibility to save you. If you do get saved, that's great. And though, what happens if that person decides they're gonna stop helping you? Then what do? You're up as creek without a paddle. So it's important to be disciplined. It's important to make better decisions. Discipline is not doing what's convenient, or not doing what you want so you can do what you want most. For example, a couple days ago, I wanted a cookie, but I knew that I should not have a cookie. I was going to buy a $2 bag of cookies, okay? And those cookies always, especially if I eat them early, they make my stomach hurt because there's a lot of sugar. And so I had the cookies, and I was going to get a cookie, and then I also had my apple. And so I was I'm not going to get these chocolate cookies. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And someone just get the cookies. I was no, I cannot, because we're on two different journeys, and it's not about the cookie. It's about the discipline to do, because I know that I don't need that cookie. And sometimes I will, if I know that I need a little bit of a treat, or I got some beef sticks the other day, and instead of getting 2 packs, I only got 1. I was going to get 3. And then I was you know what? I don't need that. That's a lot of salt. Let me just get the 1. And then the Instacart person wasn't done yet shopping, so I tried to add. I was you know what? I'm just going to get 2. It's fine. I'm just going to get 2. And then the app didn't work and didn't let me, even though it said I could, it didn't allow me to do it because I only needed the 1. So that's just the thing, exercising discipline, because it's great if you're reading this, and I'm happy that we're having book club, but if you're not actively applying these principles of becoming a better version of yourself, you're not going to see it. You can read The Secret 1,000 times and not apply any of it and still be in the same situation, or even worse, because the way that the universe works is, once you know more, the expectation is that you do more. So once you know better, the expectation is that you do better. So if you know, okay, you're not supposed to do that, then the stomach ache I would have gotten because I knew I wasn't supposed to have that cookie would have been worse than if I did not know and I was just eating it and I was just the blind, just doing whatever, So the expectation on you is higher when you know better. And, I'm just excited. I'm excited. And when people say, Rev Ike, for example, was the universe will start to play with you once you get into a certain flow. But when I tell you, I didn't know how much the universe plays, and I'll just say, there have been so many things that, the how in it is so absolutely unexplainable, beyond unexplainable, how this thing occurred, that I now am having more faith in the universe, just because of the fact that there are some really truly unexplainable things that have been happening to me more and more and more, that I have to know that there's a larger force out here. And I think like that's why it's important to read these things, and then that's why it's important to talk and teach them as well, because when you are teaching, you're learning more as well. So like before this 25 minutes, I was not thinking the same thing. Like sometimes you have to like talk it out to really process, like, wait a minute. And then sometimes for me, because I'm still evolving, and I'm happy to say that I'm still evolving, I'm still learning, I'm still growing. Sometimes I get impatient, and then I start to feel like, oh, you know, like, okay, this is not working, or, you know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, blah, 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 blah. But then when I sit down and I like really think about like, wait a minute, if that thing that's so unexplainable can happen, then what else can happen? And like it's like little stuff that are big things. Like if I'm out, like if there's a child, they'll stop right in front of me. Like there's all this space, and the kid will stop right in front of me. Or like if someone's walking their dog, and you know, like I was sitting at the park. You know how like some people are, everyone's different, but it was this husband and wife, and the wife was walking in front and the husband was walking with the dog. And the wife, like, I always say hi to people when they're walking, because that's just me, where I smile at them, try to make eye contact, like especially depending on where I'm sitting. Like if I'm sitting in a place and like people are walking past me, I will make an effort, at least the first time that they walk past, to acknowledge, and then that way, you know, we're good. We don't have to acknowledge after the second time. Like just the first time you walk past, we can hello and blah blah blah, and then if we want to talk from there, fine. So though, this particular woman clearly did not want to speak. She's actually, she didn't see me. It was a little bit rude, but I was like, whatever, that's you, I don't care. So she kept walking, but then so her husband was walking with the dog, and the dog stopped walking. Like the dog like literally stood right in front of me and was just looking at me, and I'm looking at the dog, and I'm looking at the husband, like, because I'm like, this is awkward, because like clearly a woman like that, I don't want her thinking I'm trying to get her a man or something. I don't want her trying to beat me up for behind this dude, you know. It's not my vibe. So it was a little bit awkward, and you could tell like the man was trying to like pull the dog along, and the dog was just like, I'm not moving. And it was like a good amount of time, and the woman kept walking. Like she didn't turn around to see like what was going on. She just kept going. And it was like one of those things, like if she turns around and sees that he's just standing here with the dog, she's gonna like have a conniption fit. You could just sense it. So I'm like, oh geez, what's gonna happen here? And like literally the dog is just standing there. And so eventually the man like kept walking and yanked. Once it got to the point where the wife was like really far, and if she had turned around and saw that they weren't walking, it would have been an issue. Then he like yanked the dog, and then the dog walked. So like those kind of things, and like that's just like that is becoming normal. Like I'm starting to expect that. But like there's certain things, like I said, like I'm not gonna say on here. Maybe at some point, like if I do a Patreon, because then I'll know it's like a little bit more controlled, or if we do like a YouTube subscription or something on here, I don't know. But I ain't saying it yet, because you know there's certain things you can't share with everybody, you feel me? But that's something small. But I've just noticed that more and more and more, and I know it's because I'm making efforts to be clean within myself and making efforts to make better decisions. And do I mess up sometimes? Yeah, I'm developing, you know. I'm not even 30 yet, like, you know, I'm still learning. So at the end of the day, like I'm still growing, and anyone like, I'm taking back like the age thing, because to me, like I don't age, okay? And also like no matter how old you are, you're still learning and developing, point blank period. You're still growing, you know? So I just think it's important that I say that, and you know, we just take our time to develop, and the only thing you can become is more of something. So if you are being lazy, you're going to be more lazy next year, unless you make a conscious effort to change. If you're disciplined and you're making those efforts, you're going to be more disciplined. And little by little becomes a lot. And like once you start to develop in one area, you'll naturally start to develop in another. Because when I first started this journey and like really getting serious because of some crazy stuff that happened to me, I never thought that I would be reading. Like that was not my goal. I never thought that I would be waking up, because I've always been an early bird, but I never thought I would be waking up this early, you know? Like as early as I'm waking up now. I never thought that I would be like trying to make this many content videos, you know. I never thought like, so while I didn't think I was gonna have a new channel, because I used to have like an art channel, I never thought I would be doing So it's like, as I'm growing and as I'm developing, more and more things are changing. I never thought I would not be listening to certain music because that wasn't my goal. It was just as I started to change and develop and grow and really be purposeful, certain things just don't resonate with me the same anymore. And so it just like changed, but it wasn't always intentional. It's just things that were like a byproduct of life. So with that being said, I'll see you for the next book club. Toodles.